Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris. Welcome back to my channel. This is your first time here. What's up? Listen, today we're going to talk about a little something that got released last week. Dr. Fauci gave the stamp of approval to kids to trick or treat this Halloween. This statement comes just 1 week after Fauci said, quote, "It's too soon to tell if families can gather together for Christmas in December." I think personally, if we've learned anything over these past 2 years when it comes to these types of announcements, given the contradictions that happens almost on a weekly basis, if not daily, is to take things like this with a grain of salt, all right? And what we're gonna do today in the show is we're gonna talk about some approaches for you, your family, and your kids for Halloween, and or maybe some healthy things you can do this Halloween as well. So before we get started, I ask for a favor, smash that like button. It tells YouTube to get this video out to anyone who's interested, and consider subscribing if you want to be a part of the community. I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm grateful. Let's jump into the show. Okay, so the government's top infectious disease experts told CNN, quote, State of the Union, that parents can safely take their kids trick-or-treating outside this year, given pandemic death cases keep declining across the country. You can get out there, they said. You're outdoors for the most part, at least when children were out there trick-or-treating and enjoying it, Fauci said. Quote, "I mean, this is a time that children love. It's very important time of the year for children. I know my children enjoy it." He continues to say, Dr. Fauci, particularly if you've taken medication, he's added, and if you haven't taken medication, again, think about that. You'll need to add an extra degree of protection to yourself and your children and your family and your community. So it's a good time to reflect on why it's important to get medicated. I find it very interesting that Dr. Fauci is taking Halloween specifically to find a reason to explain to you why you need to be medicated. Going back into the statement, quote, "But go out there and enjoy Halloween as well as other holidays that will be upcoming," end quote, he said. Last year, Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Disease, advised parents to not allow their children to go door to door or to at least make a mask part of the child's costume. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention last year labeled traditional trick-or-treating high risk and advised parents to leave candy at the front door front door or their driveway to minimize contact with strangers. Okay, so I went ahead and I just happened to pull up the death rates of, and I hate to use the word death, but given the fear that's publicized by this director and his cohorts, we should talk about, as of October 13th, there's been 513 deaths via COVID from children between the ages of 0 and 17 years old ever since this has been a problem. I just want to put that number out there, considering it's so incredibly low. And this whole article is being directed at people within that age group. So my thoughts on this topic, let's get into my thoughts when it comes to what I see being important when it comes to Halloween, all right? And this is from a relatively neutral perspective, okay? I think fundamentally what needs to be done for Halloween, my recommendations are this. Do what's best for you and your kids, okay? There's this whole thing called choice, and there's this whole thing called freedom, and there's this whole thing called freedom of choice. Do what's good for you. Do what's good for your family. Do what's good for your kids, okay? Listen, If you want to go out and trick or treat because that's what's good for your kids and that's what they want to do, I would totally do that. If you're upset or scared or don't think it's a good idea, don't do it. This novel concept of choice, I think, is vitally important. And I'm not downplaying or upplaying one side or the other. I'm just merely mentioning you have the freedom to choose. And if you want to have some fun or your kids to have some fun, go out and trick or treat. It's that simple. If you don't, keep your ass home. It's that simple. Remember this, guys, okay? You may or may not know this, right? Whether you have children or not, your children are building memories long term, every day, as a product of their environment. And you, as the parent, can cause damage or trauma or both, depending on how you deal with situations, including this. Now, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying be cognizant of how you deal with situations of a holiday so important to your children. You don't want to cause them long-term problems or damage or trauma around a situation like this. What I see that could cause damage are some facts. Just some facts, okay? Fact. Dr. Fauci is not the law. Fact. Neither is the CDC. Fact. Nor are executive orders on the state or federal level, but they do scare you and they can cause long-term damage or trauma, especially to children. So just keep these things in mind. Even a title so scary as Fauci recommends you could do this or that during a holiday can create problems long term. So this is what I say. This is what I say. This is just what I say. Take it or leave it. You don't have to agree with me. However, go have some fun with your kids. Enjoy yourself. If you really want to spread health, this is what I do, have done, and what I recommend. Also, have some fruit, vegetables, and maybe a protein shake for the kids that come to your door with some candy. They want the candy, but you know what? There might be some kids that want some fruit too, or maybe some protein shakes because they're athletes. That's health. You can present the healthy option, guys. The healthy option, generally speaking, is health, not medicine. Okay? That's my recommendation. Go out there, have some fun with your kids, enjoy yourself. If you don't want to, stay home. If you stay home and you want to actually help teach health, present with a healthy option. It's their choice whether they want it or not. But the key is to have some fun and let the kids have some fun, most importantly. All right, guys, that's my show on Halloween and the announcement from Dr. Fauci. Take it with a grain of salt. All right, guys, do what you think is best. Fundamentally, it's freedom of choice. If you want to help implement some health, do it. If you don't, don't. But fundamentally, have some fun. Do what you think is right. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I love that this community is building. Become more in the community. Drop your comment below. Let's have a discussion. I want to discuss what you guys think. Okay? This is a safe space to just talk. All right? Not name calling and so on and so forth. That stuff gets banned off my page immediately. Smash the like button. Consider subscribing. Drop your comments about what you think, and I'll catch you next time.